Rob here from Media, and in this video we are going to be building a blog post template. Let's build. At Media, we help companies to grow and thrive using the latest tools, tricks and marketing techniques. From websites to online marketing, automated sales funnels, social media and much more. We're always releasing new content on our YouTube channel, so make sure you click the like, subscribe and notification button to make sure that you don't miss out. Just before we get going, I want to tell you about an exclusive offer we have on at the moment. We're giving away free access to our paid Hub platform to the first 50 people that click the link in the description. We're going to be putting this link in the description of all of our videos, so make sure that you get in there as quick as you can. Within Hub we have created over 100 training videos in 13 courses, including a course on how to build a website using Elementor. You'll also find recorded webinars and a host of other free content, so remember to click the link in the description. Let's get on with the video. Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a post template so that every time you create a blog or a news post, you don't need to keep building the page. We'll be applying this as a condition, much like nav bars and footers, so every time you publish a post in a certain category, it will always take the same form. I'll show you what I mean as we go along. So to begin building our post template, we need to go to Templates on the left of our WordPress dashboard, Add New, and in the drop down we need to select Single. The post type needs to be Post, and then the template name can be anything you want. So I'm going to put Blog Template, then Create. Much like our nav bars and footers, Elementor has got some pre-made blog posts, and if I'm honest with you, I use these quite a lot and I just edit them how I need to. However, these are only available in Elementor Pro, so for the benefit of those who are watching that don't have Elementor Pro, I will be building a template from scratch. If you're interested in Elementor Pro or finding a little bit more out about Elementor, you can find a link on the useful website tools page, which you can access via the Hub area. To begin building our own from scratch, we go to the top right and close this window. And the first section I want to do is a featured image, and the featured image you set when you create a blog post. So I'm going to add a new section and I'm going to select one column. So there are a number of options we can do here to show our featured image. We can go to the top left, we can select the featured image tile and drag that in, and basically, when we post something, this tells Elementor to show the featured image in this area. We've got a couple of options here. We've got alignment, we've got size. You can do a custom size if you like, show caption and link if you like. We've also got some styling options, so max width and so on. It works very similar to most Elementor elements. You go through the content, set the settings, go through style, do the settings there, and so on. The way I'm going to do it is slightly different though. So I'm going to just right click and delete this. I'm going to go to my section settings here with the 6 white dots. In style, I'm going to go down to background. I'm going to select classic. I'm going to hover over this window, but rather than choose an image, I'm going to go to the bottom right here where it says dynamic tags. I'm going to click that and then a couple of options appear. The one that I want is this featured image. Then we've got a few options. We've got position, so I'm going to go center for now. Attachment, I'm going to leave on default. No repeat, and the size I want to cover. So I'm going to go back to layout, and I'm just going to change the minimum height here to 300 so that we can see our image. So what I've essentially made here is a section that will show the featured image of the blog post at full width of the page. The next thing I want to add is the post title. I'm going to make a new section, and this one I want to be 2 columns. I'm going to go to the top left and we can have a look at the options that we have. So these options here that we see under single, generally these are elements that bring through information that you've set. So for example, the post title, I'm going to drag that in, and this will display the title of the post. The information that is pulling through right now is actually just the latest post that I've made. But we can see in the top left here that we have set it so that it's the post title that will display. Let's go back to our grid of elements again and have a look at what else we've got. We've also got the post content, we've got post navigation, post comments, post information, and I'm going to drag the post information in underneath the title. So this shows the sort of metadata of the post, if you like. And all I want to do is display the date in this case, but feel free to delete, add your own items in this case, but I'm just going to remove it so it's just the date. We'll come back and style this in a moment. I'm just going to add all the content and show you how this kind of works. So I'm going to go back to my grid of elements, and this time I want the post content. I'm going to drag that tile in and pop that in. And we can see that it has pulled through the text that I put into the post. I think let's style these now. So let's go to the heading first, and we'll click the edit post title pen here. We'll go to style, text color, we're going to make the dark gray, typography, we'll go for Montserrat. Let's go for 3 in size, weight, bold, and the letter spacing 6. Let's close that. I'm just going to go to content, check that I'm happy with these. Maybe we could set it to left alignment just to make sure. Next, we'll do the date. So let's click the edit post info pen here. We've got style. We don't need space between because we haven't got any other items. Alignment, I'll just make sure it's on start. The icon, I'm going to change to our green. And the size, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's go with 30. Text, usual sort of settings here. I'm going to leave the indent by default, but you can see how this works. Text color, dark gray, typography, open sans, REM of 1, and a weight of 100. So that's those 2 items done. Let's now look at our text. So again, find the edit post content, blue button here, left align, text color, it's going to be gray. And by the way, we don't have content options in this case because the content is already done. What this will be doing is bringing through the content already. They were just styling and advanced options here. So alignment left, text color dark gray, typography, family, open sans, REM of, let's go 1.2 with a weight 100, and close that. So we've kind of got a blog post coming along here, but there are a few other things that we can do to make this a little bit more interesting for our visitors. So I think the first thing is I'm going to add some padding to the top and bottom of this section. So find the 6 white buttons for the edit section. And then in advanced, I'm just going to unlink the padding, go to %, and I'm just going to put 3% on the top and bottom of our section. So I also want to make this post shareable to social media platforms. So I'm going to go to my grid at the top left, and I'm going to look for share buttons, and then I'm going to pop that into my right column. So I'm already happy with the buttons it's already picked, but you can go through and you can select the different social media platforms that you want people to be able to share this blog post to. You can add and you can delete items and even duplicate. We've got view settings, we've got icon, icon text. I like icon and text, so let's leave that. The label, we'll just reduce it down to the icon. We've got the skin, so we've got gradient, minimal, framed. I'm going to go with framed. Square, rounded, and circle, and I'm going to keep it with square. Then we've got some columns here, so we can choose to have 1, 2 if we like. I'm just going to go with 3 even columns, so it stretches across our large column here. And then the target URL is a current page or the custom page. So this is the URL that they would be sharing on their platforms. And I'm just going to do current page. Let's go to style. I'm going to leave most of these as they are, as they look great as they are really. I'm going to leave the color settings on official, and the typography, I'm just going to look for Montserrat, REM of 1, and I'm going to go bold. We'll leave the rest of those settings. I think to tidy it up though, I think I'm going to vertically align these to the bottom of this column. I'm going to find the edit column button here at the top left, and then under vertically align, I'm going to select bottom. Let's just hide the panel, and we can see we've got our blog post, And then next to our column, we've got our share buttons. Let's open the panel back up. Now I want to start sort of branding this up a bit. So I want to put a bit more of this green in. So I'm going to put a border at the bottom of this section here. So I'm going to go to the 6 white dots at the top of this edit section. I'm going to go to style, border. I'm going to select solid. I'm going to unlink the values so they all go to 0. Then on the bottom, I'm just going to increase this to 2, and in color, I'm going to select green. Now, if I just close this, the branding is sort of coming forwards now. I could even make that a bit thicker. So let's maybe take that up to 3. Yeah, I think I'll leave that. So now it's starting to resemble and feel like the business that we're building a website for here. Let's open that back up. Now we want to allow people browsing this page to find other blog posts. So I'm going to add a new section, 1 column, and in the top left in the grid, I'm going to find post navigation. So I'm going to drag that in. And this means that when someone is done reading this post, they can either share it using these options, or they can navigate through other posts and read more information. This is all done for you automatically, so all you have to do is style it. So we've got the label. I'm going to keep the label on. We've got previous and next, so you can change this text if you like. I will leave it on previous and next. I think it makes sense. We've got arrows. We can have those on and off, but I'm going to keep those on so that people know the functionality of this feature. Arrow types, you can change to various different options, but I'm just going to leave it on angle. Post title, so that's here, blog post 3 we can see, and borders as well. But I'm going to leave all those on. I like those settings. We've also got the term at which these scroll through. So if I select posts, I can then select posts in certain categories. So if I want this to only go through blog posts and not include news posts, for example, I can click categories. And this will automatically know what category the post is in when you're browsing it or looking at it. So for example, if I go to a blog post, it will only include blog posts afterwards. If I were to go into a news category post, the only options would be to go to other news posts. So I am just going to turn that off for now so we've got the full preview. I'm going to go to style, and the color, I'm going to try green. And I think, yeah, we'll leave that on green as it is. It then pops out, people can see it. Typography obviously needs to change to our brand. So open sans, make it a little bit bigger to 1 rem and then a weight of 100. The title, so that's this small heading here, I'm going to leave on the dark gray. Typography again, open sans. I don't want it to be the same size, but still legible, and I'm going to go with 0.8 rem, weight 100. Close that down. We've got the arrow color. I actually quite like this default color. I'm going to leave it as it is, but you've got size options and gap options here, and then you've got the borders, which are this gray, and I'm going to leave those on that light gray as well. So far we have this blog post which brings through the post title, the date it was created, we've got the content that you put in, and we're able to share this as well across social media platforms. We can also navigate through other posts that have been created. So I think the last thing I want to do is just underneath the previous and next buttons, I want to add a few clickable cards that go to other blog posts, much like the one that we created in the homepage video. So I'm going to go to the top left grid. I'm going to find the posts element under pro elements. Now I know that at the beginning of the video I said that I was going to build this from scratch for those that weren't using Elementor Pro, but this is an extra feature that I'm going to show. Before I drag this in, I'm going to create a new section quickly with 1 column, go back to the grid, search for posts. There they are. Let's drag those in. And much like our homepage, we've got our blog posts here and our news posts. So I'm just going to change this to cards quickly. Columns I want 3, and the posts, much like the homepage, I just want 3 examples. We're going to show the image. We'll put the image size to full, so it's at its best quality. The image ratio I'm happy with. The title we'll keep the excerpt. I'm also going to keep in this instance so that people know what the post is about. We'll leave the length as well at 25. Metadata, I'm going to remove comments. Remember, if you click into the box, you can add your own metadata options. Read more, that's important. People need to know that when they click through, they're going to be able to read the rest of it. I'm going to keep open in window off because we're not sending them to another website. The badge I'm going to turn off, as these are going to be posts that are related to the same category you're reading in anyway, in which case these will be for blog posts. I'm going to turn off the avatar as well. The query, source posts, I'm going to include the term category blog. So we can see that the news post just disappeared because I've categorized that as news. I'm going to leave the date and order by options as well, and also keep ignore sticky posts on as well. Query ID we don't need in this case, and the pagination we don't need either. If you select any of these, you'll probably have some different styling options to go through. So let's go to style now. The columns gap, row gap, I'm happy with. Alignment, again, happy with. Play around with these as much as you like. Cards, happy with the background. Just going to make sure that they're white. Border color, we haven't got one. Border radius, I'm going to put to 25. Horizontal padding, vertical padding, happy with this. I think the default looks great. The box shadow, again, that helps the cards stand off of the background, so I'm going to leave those. We've got the gradient, which is the effect when you hover over, and I'm going to leave that as well. It just adds a subtle bit of interaction. And then we've got the meta border, which is this thin grey line here, and we could change this to the green if we wanted to. I'm going to leave it as a default light green. Then we've got image options, and again we can play around with these. We've got CSS filters, so we can blur, we could brighten, we could saturate these, and then when we hover over them, we could actually make it so that the image returns back to color. So I'm just going to leave that as that is. Content then, we just need to go through the usual color and typography settings. So dark gray for the color of the title. Let's go Montserrat. 1.5 REM. Weight, bold. Let's close that. Spacing I'm happy with. The metadata, color, dark gray. Separated, we don't have one because we haven't got multiple pieces of metadata. Typography, I will change to Open Sans though. And let's go with 1 REM, but we'll just shrink that down to what suits us. So let's just go with 0.7 in this example, then weight 100. Close that. The excerpt, dark gray again. Typography, you guessed it, Open Sans, REM 1. But I think I'm going to reduce this slightly as well. And the weight 100. Close. Then we've got the read more. I'm going to change this to the green of our branding. Close that. Typography needs to change to Open Sans, REM 1. But let's reduce that maybe down to match the text. Weight 100. And we've got spacing as well. And I will just leave that on default. Just a reminder, obviously I just went through color and typography quite a few times. It's quite a repetitive process. You can use the theme style feature of Elementor. In fact, I do recommend you have a look at it. At some point we do have a video for it. Basically, this means that you can set the fonts for H1s, H2s, 3s, paragraphs, etc. So you don't have to keep going through these tools. And it's the same for buttons. So every time you drag in a button, it takes on the format that you want it to immediately, and you don't have to go through all these settings. But the reason why I'm going through this is so that you can get used to using these tools and repeating the process. If you want to have a look, go and check out the theme style video and learn how that works. Let's hide our panel then. I'm pretty happy with this post. I think this is what we need it to be. It's nice and simple. Brings through the post title, the metadata, the content. We can share it on social media. We can navigate through other posts if we wanted to as well. What I might do is just add some padding around this section. So 6 white dots of the edit section, advanced. Let's just change the padding. Let's unlink, and then bottom will definitely have 3. Let's put it on the top as well, just to separate it from the other features. There we go. And now we've got this section here with the navigation in evenly spaced between the 2 sections. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm not going to go through the mobile responsive options, but if you've had a look at the video, you can go to responsive mode at the bottom left, switch between tablet and mobile, and you can go through the settings as we did in the build along videos. For example, for tablet here, I might just change the column width to 100%, and then the same again for the social media one, so that on tablet it looks a bit tidier. I would put some more padding around the edge of that text probably as well, because it's quite close to the edge. But we're not going to go through that in this video. Of course, you can do the same for mobile as well. So let's now set the conditions so that this appears just for our blog posts. So we're going to go to publish at the bottom left here. We've got include posts, and currently it's set to all. So this means it will be used for all our posts regardless of category, so news and blog posts. If we just wanted our blog posts to take the form of this template, we have to click posts here. We go to posts in category. Over here we just have to click all, and then a little drop down comes down. In here we type in our category blog, and we can see here categories blog turns up. We click that, and then we can save and close. Let's go and make a blog post now to show you how this works. Let's go to the burger menu at the top left here, click that, and go to exit dashboard. Let's go to posts, and we're going to add new. We can see here, before we go into making a new one, we can see here we've got a post here that's categorized as news, and then we've got 3 blog posts here categorized as blog, and that's what we want to use our template for. So let's add new post. And in here, we're just going to type in the title of our blog post. My first blog. Categories on the right here, I'm going to select blog. By the way, my layout might look a little bit different. If you haven't installed the classic editor plugin, then yours might look slightly different. All the settings you need will still be on the right, but we do recommend using classic editor because all of our videos are filmed using it, and it's just a nicer layout in our opinion. But we don't need to do any settings like post attributes. With the pages, we normally have to click one of these. We don't need to in this case, because when we select blog, it's already taking on the template that we've just created. So I'm just putting a little bit of dummy text there. We're going to click publish. Before we view it, I just need to set a featured image as well. So I'm going to click featured image down here, and then we're going to select from our library, and let's go with this one. Set featured image, click update. Now let's go and view the post. So here we have it. We can see that the post has taken on our template. We've got the featured image in our section at the top here. We've got the post title when we created it. We've got the content we typed in, our social media buttons so that we can share it, and we can scroll through other posts as well. This does include the news post as well because I didn't set the conditions, but in the navigation tool you can set the category in which this scrolls through. So if I go to blog post 3 here, this is a previous blog we've made. If we go over, we can see that that has also taken on our template. To show you how categorizing works then, I'm now going to click next because this will take us to our news post. And as you can see, this hasn't taken on the template that we've just made. Of course, if you wanted to, you could set the condition so that the template is used for all the posts, or you could even select include news post as well if you had other categories that you didn't want to include. So congratulations, in this video you have learned how to create blog post templates. So with this skill combined with the Let's Build video of the homepage and the navbar and the footer, and also the mobile responsive video that you've watched, all these videos combined should mean that you can make a really decent website now. Of course, you can always book a call with us if you need some help. We'd be happy to take a look at what you've done and see if we can help you. And remember, every time you've made a change and you want to save your work, click the green update button, and we will see you in the next video.